Thank you so much, Elizabeth and Cynthia and Michelle. It was beautiful. It takes my words away and feel like I don't need to say anything else right now. My thoughts this week turn to wonder. In the scriptures that we heard again this evening, after the angel greets Mary and lets her know that the Holy Spirit will be with her and that she will become pregnant with God's own child, says to her, "Do not be afraid, because you have found favor with God." The scriptures say that Mary wondered what kind of greeting this might be, or in some translations, she pondered what it might mean. From my perspective, pondered is a bit more ponderous, a bit more like gave it some thought, turned it over in her mind, whereas wonder seems a little bit more like involving our whole being, our heart, mind, and spirit, along with our body. But later on, after the shepherds came to see Jesus and Mary and Joseph in the stable, we hear once again that Mary treasured up all these things and wondered about them or pondered them in her heart. Wonder, pondering. If I were to ask you to name some of the greatest wonders of the world, what might come to mind? Maybe some ancient wonders, maybe some modern wonders, perhaps some natural wonders or some human-built wonders. Each of us finds our own unique perspectives on what is wonderful. And one of the things that I'm very grateful for, and those of you who have been around me in the last year or so will, I'm sure, guess that one of the things, or one of the people I'm very grateful for, is my wonderful granddaughter, Ramona, who is not quite 15 months old yet. And she really stole my heart when she was only about 6 weeks old and about 6 pounds big, and fell asleep in my arms and slept there for about 2 hours right up next to my heart. Since then, I feel like she's taken my heart and hasn't given it back, and I'm glad for that. But one of the reasons why I enjoy spending time with Ramona is that it's so wonderful to see the world through her eyes of wonder. Everything is a wonder to her. She wants to interact with everything. She wants to try every button and switch and zipper and latch and everything else you can imagine. She wonders how it works, wonders what it means. She's just beginning to speak a few words, but her parents have already taught her signed language, and she has a few favorite signs, which I'll be sharing with you, but all of them are really signs of wonder of her interacting with the world around her. We just sang a few moments ago, "O little town of Bethlehem." And in the second verse, how silently the wondrous gift is given. Wonder. When we heard, "I wonder as I wander," as Elizabeth shared with me the plan to share that special music tonight, I thought back to the first time I heard that Christmas song. And I first heard it when I was in junior high in the late 1960s, over 50 years ago. And I assumed, because that's when I first heard it, it was probably a song from the 60s, but it turns out it's actually from the 1930s. And a musician named John Niles first heard it from a young, very poor girl singing it on top of a truck in the Appalachian Mountains in North Carolina. It caught his attention and he wrote it down, and that's where we got that beautiful, haunting melody and words, "I wonder as I wander." Well, how do we enter into the spirit of wonder this Christmas season? And I'm appreciative to the thoughts of A.J. Jacobs, who's written a book called Thanks 1,000, A Gratitude Journey. Thanks 1,000. He mentions that one of the ways that we cultivate a sense of gratitude is to begin by noticing on purpose what's around us. And again, I think of my granddaughter who notices everything and everyone, all the sounds and movement and smells and tastes, and invites us as well to join in that experience of noticing. It's easy to forget to notice because things become, we become habituated and we begin filtering out important clues around us. And yet, for us to begin to experience the wonder of God's gift at Christmas, we need to notice the beauty, the joy, and the wonder around us. The second step to entering into the wonder of Christmas is savoring, especially things that we tend to experience in an ordinary way, but taking the time to really taste that drink of water, to enjoy that fresh breath of air, to notice how it feels when we first awaken and feel the air on our faces or the air through our lungs. Noticing as we sang, we will sing, there's a song in the air, there's a tumult of joy or the wonderful birth. Beyond noticing and savoring is appreciating. I mentioned some of the signs that our granddaughter has been learning. She's learned to express her appreciation by clapping her hands, which means a couple of different things. It means great, good job, and it also means more, please. And so whenever she wants more of anything, she will clap her hands in delight. And after appreciating, of course, comes giving thanks, expressing our gratitude. This week, my wife had a chance to spend time with our granddaughter and brought her, my granddaughter's first gingerbread person that came from my wife's school. And so she had the opportunity to experience a gingerbread person for the first time. She first approached it very gingerly, as you would, really noticed the shape of it. And then she took one little bite and then another and another until she finally ate up the whole gingerbread person. The night before, her parents had taught her to say thank you with the expression like this, so thank you. And so after she ate up the gingerbread person, one of the moms said, why don't you thank Grandma for bringing you the gingerbread person? And she did the wah! With enthusiasm that she was so grateful for that. Well, after noticing and savoring and appreciating, I think a fourth step to entering into the wonder is to really resonate with the joy and the celebration, not just simply absorbing the light or the joy or the wonder into us, but actually participating and amplifying in it. We know that from the hymn, We Three Kings, the chorus is wondrous star, right? The star of wonder, star of light, star with radiant light. And so we are invited to join in and let the light flow through us to reflect it back in the world around us, not simply to absorb it. Finally, we're invited to attend with God to the joy and the wonder of God's gift in our midst. At the conclusion of worship this afternoon, we'll be singing Joy to the World, and the final refrain, God rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the wonders of God's love. So that's what we're invited to attend to and join in and celebrate this day as we attend to the wonder of God's gift in our midst. So let us notice, let us savor, let us appreciate, and let us resonate with God's joy and wonder in our midst.